Confused.
All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Something Super Podcast. I'm Steve.
Mark.
And guys, this week, with the arrival of Marvel's new What If series, we're going to cover episode 1. So, for those of you that have watched it, awesome. For those of you that haven't, I would stop listening now. So, this is the rewrite of Captain America: The First Avenger. And I can honestly say this entire series is going to knock it out of the park just from episode 1. How they did it was masterful, with the exception of the fact that like it is an animation. It is as close to an MCU movie as you're going to get.
Dude, I completely agree. Like, I mean, I knew it was going to be like different, but like it was just, I don't even, like, I can't put in the words. Like, just the way that they're going to go about it. Because obviously, like, I know that me and you own a couple of the What If, like, actual series and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, I know mine was like, what if the Punisher, like, worked for S.H.I.E.L.D., like, spoiler alert, doesn't go well. But, uh, but yeah, basically, like, I was not ready for them to make Steve Rogers Iron Man.
No, or I mean, like I guess OG Iron Man. You know, I don't even know. I mean, it was called HYDRA Stomper in the episode, but as far as that goes, that means that Howard Stark had the idea for the Iron Man suit long before Tony ever even got captured by the Taliban.
Right, yeah, and then that also then goes and begs the question of like, what else? Like, the one thing I loved is that basically Howard Stark was just like running around the war in like a vest.
Yeah.
Like, they were just like, "You're coming with us." He's like, "Okay."
And I think it was cool that, again, obviously in the beginning, like the Watcher, who we've seen in the MCU movies before, sort of gives you the explanation that any decision changed in what we know as the MCU could splinter off into a million different universes. So one person changes one thing. In this instance, Peggy Carter stays in the room with Steve instead of going up to the booth to watch the transformation. That was the domino effect that caused everything to happen the way that it did. Steve gets shot. Peggy becomes, quote unquote Captain Britain, or Captain Carter, I guess, for this series at least. But like that whole chain of events, Bucky does not become the Winter Soldier. Steve becomes a HYDRA Stomper Iron Man Mark 1 suit. Like it, everything that fell into place, the Americans get the Tesseract to turn it into a weapon. Like it's phenomenal. I am 110% bought in on anything that they're going to write into What If. The fact that they got like 99% of the voice actors to come back to do their like reprise their roles. Yes. Fucking just let's go. I'm here for it all day.
Yeah, like I know next week's episode is going to be with Chadwick Boseman, and I
Oh
believe it
God.
was the last thing he recorded
Yes, it
prior to
is.
his death, right?
Yep.
So, I mean, and I think that's going to be interesting because if he does become Black Panther, then that leaves kind of the door wide open for Killmonger, who we also see in the trailers saves Tony Stark. So I'm wondering if that's going to be the same episode or if Killmonger is going to get his own episode with Tony Stark.
So I am definitely curious about that. What I think, and again, it could be the same episode. It very well may be, because Killmonger has some sort of like super strong ability because he stops the missile from hitting Tony
And
and
that's
like
where I
throws
think
it.
he becomes the Black Panther because he would be untested at that point. He would
Yep.
be.
Yeah, and I think honestly it would be an interesting thing to see. My What If comic that I have is based on Tony Stark selling out after his incident. So this isn't going to be that episode, but it is going to be him sort of aligning himself with the wrong people. It's not going to be doing what's best for the common good or, his armor around the world initiative that we all know and love from the Iron Man movies. So I'm here for it. I think, Chadwick Boseman, becoming the Star Lord that we know and love, getting picked up off of Earth. Like maybe the ship went into a different place. Maybe it crashed somewhere else. Like maybe Ego is his father instead. Like anything is a possibility here. I'm ready for all of it. So Mark, like, let's sort of break down like a side by side, I guess, of episode 1, 2, Captain America and the First Avenger, and just like sort of some of the similarities, some of the differences, some of the things that you noticed may, want to point out to some of the viewers or listeners.
So, I mean, like you said, the one thing that kind of kicks it all off kind of is like Peggy doesn't go up to the booth. She stays there. And I'm not even going to lie, like, this is how unpredictable the series is for me. Like, when Steve gets shot, I literally thought that was it. Like, I was like, all right, they're just going to kill off Steve and we're just going to follow Peggy in this story, which I would have been okay with. Like, I would have been fine with seeing, like, what if Steve wasn't even in the picture? What if it was just Peggy?
Mm-hmm.
But then you got the token sexist military leader that the whole time he's like, you're a woman, you're lucky you're even in the room, and this and of course as soon as she starts whipping ass, he's like, oh, Mr. President, I knew she had this in her, this and that. So kind of like just plays on still like that, like political time period and everything. But I don't know, there was a lot of ways that like I was really happy. Like, number one, the biggest issue I had with it, I know it's a cartoon, was when the train blows up, how easily they just jumped off the back of a train that's probably moving like 70 or 80 miles an
Super
hour.
fast. Yes.
Like I get Peggy, but like the other normal people, they were just like, here we go. Like,
Yeah, I definitely saw that. And I know you and I had actually spoke about it prior to us recording, but that was my expectation for not Bucky, but Steve becoming the Winter Soldier. I don't know, again, Hydra has their own super serum at this point. So like, how does that work? And I love the reference from Bucky when he gets pulled back onto the train by Captain Carter. He's like, oh, you almost ripped my arm off.
yeah, honestly, it was funny because my fiance Danielle like looked at me. She's like, "Huh? Did you get it? Did you get it?" I'm like, "Yes, I got it." Like, I get what they were poking fun at, and that when he said that, that's what made me think like, okay, maybe Steve's the one who becomes the Winter Soldier, which I think would have been an interesting concept. Like, what if the roles were reversed? Because the only thing that only reason why I kind of didn't think that was going to be it was because this is still Runt Steve Rogers.
Correct. And that's the only negative to it. Like Bucky is at,
Like,
I mean, they're damn near the same age and Steve's like half his size.
right. And that was the one thing that I always found funny was like he's like I guess in the movie he's supposed to be like 5 foot, I would say like 5'2", 5'3", but yeah, he still has like Chris Evans like really deep voice.
Yeah.
It's like what? But no. Yeah, I mean, like I know you said you weren't too sure, but I'm pretty sure that the whole alien overlord, the like Red Skull was supposed to be summoning at the end. I'm pretty sure that was a storyline through Agents of Shield, which technically isn't canon anymore, but now with multiverses, maybe they're making it canon in its own right.
Yeah. So it's similar like the obelisk from Guardians of the Galaxy 2. But again, like we don't know exactly where this thing opened up to. We know that Red Skull disappears after the first movie and he ends up on Vormir. So like,
Right.
was this his attempt to open something to Vormir? Like, or was this his original intention and Vormir was a sad second option, when it finally did open the portal? But I think it may have also just been a nod to the fact that like the Hydra in this regard, like their logo is just like a tentacled creature. Because you don't ever see a face, you just see like a million tentacles come out.
Right. And then you see like the mouth with some teeth.
Yeah. So it's not, we don't have an exact answer about the monster itself, but my favorite thing about this entire series thus far is the almost shot for shot remakes from the first Avenger that like we had. Again, Bucky had the same exact fall. Captain Carter, when she comes out of the machine, she looks the exact same way that Steve does. She sort of has that like lean to the side, head off to the left. When they bust in with the Howling
door,
the Howling Commandos, like everything, and that's what we're supposed to be doing here. Like this is exactly what it is. It's damn near the exact same timeline, except one little thing changed. Like that's the butterfly effect, and it is so fucking good. I can't speak highly enough about this because they're killing it right now. Marvel Phase 4, fuck yes. Like, let's go.
Yeah, the one thing that I was kind of upset about was that Peggy didn't get like the happily ever after that Steve did, kind of like after waking up. Like Steve comes out of the ice and Peggy's still around. Yes, she's like bedridden and old, but like at least he got that closure.
Mm-hmm.
Like she just kind of came out there like, dude, the war ended like 70 years ago, man. Like Bucky's dead, Cap's dead, I'm assuming, because they don't show them. What I want to know is each individual episode just gonna be like a story, or is there going to be an overlapping arc to all of them?
So that's an honestly like super good question. I could see both. So I would like for there to be one overlapping story. However, due to the fact that we already know there's going to be a zombie Captain America, aka Steve Rogers, I feel like each one of them is a story within itself. So like it's an alternate timeline. So like this one, it starts at the first Avenger, which is, you know, canonically the first movie in the MCU timeline. So, you know, it's based out of when Steve Rogers joins the military. So like in the timeline, that's day one, week one. I feel like, you know, the zombie one, it's going to be after Steve comes out of the ice. What happens? And that's going to be another fractal, you know, a fraction of like what, okay, this happened. So this chain of events happened. And again, I think it's all just branches off the exact same, like the main timeline that they talked about in Loki. So like the what the fuck? I can't even think of the name of the timeline.
Sacred
Sacred
timeline.
time. There we go. Sacred timeline. So like this is all the sacred timeline, but like now we're seeing where like things got smashed and decisions got changed and shit starts going haywire and off the fucking rails. And honestly, like I'm looking at screenshots from the show like versus the actual like movie, and it's just, I mean, god damn, they did so fucking good. But
Right.
it's
Yeah.
amazing.
The way that I'm thinking is like when you watch Loki, you see the sacred timeline, like you see it start splintering. Like my theory is that each of these stories is one of those splinters.
Oh,
So like
absolutely.
I don't think that there's gonna be anything like huge overlying other than maybe at the end them bringing it together in that kind of a sense, like maybe they're interdimensional, they'll put an interdimensional type of a team together.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you'll get maybe like if Loki, for example, I know that episode 3 is like him coming to Earth as like, now I don't know how they're gonna play that one, whether he's just coming down here and he's like, dude, like I'm the king of Asgard and he's lying, or if he's like wielding Mjolnir and like he's,
That would be dope as
if
shit.
he's the worthy one. So like, because like if like you said, if it was pretty much shot for shot, just one little change in how it spiraled from Captain America, the first Avenger, to this what if episode, maybe that's the thing. Maybe Thor doesn't become worthy. Maybe Loki does. And maybe
Yeah.
Loki yields Mjolnir, and now Loki's coming to Earth as the savior, where in the movies it's Thor. But like, I don't know, maybe it's something along those lines because you figure you have, and because the other thing that I was kind of, I thought it would have been super dope if they did it, but I knew that they weren't going to. Was like at first when Red Skull like hints, he's like, oh, like the real ruler of whatever is gonna coming from space, like before he shoots like the Nazi.
Mm-hmm.
At first I was like, tell me they're gonna like he's the one that calls Thanos.
That would, I was thinking a similar thing. I was like, when they open the Tesseract, the
With
portal,
that,
I was hoping Thanos would come through and like that would be the kickoff. And I was like, that would get everything started so much earlier, like 70
right.
years earlier. And then that would be the search for the stones. Like that would be fucking insane. But obviously we were very limited as far as our 33-minute episode. Um, Again, you know, I love the fact that you said it a million times in your hopes and dreams for these episodes. What if? Like I cannot say it better, and it's Marvel does it best. We all of these people have these questions. They've had the questions since the comics first came out. Like, what if Tony Stark did this? What if Steve Rogers did this? What if, you know, Thor or Black Panther or like any of these people, any of these major key players in our universe did something different? What if this happened? What if that happened? And there's a billion answers to a billion questions. And I hope we get to explore this. This is a series at this point because it's animated that can go on forever.
Yeah. And one thing that I think would be kind of cool, now I don't think this is gonna be it, but like, in Loki when they were like be right before they got to what was Kang's
At the Citadel.
right before they got to the Citadel when they were in oh my god, I'm blanking now. What was the name of the place that they were in
The
where
end.
everything got, yeah, like when they
The end of time.
before the end of time, like when they got purged, where did they go?
Oh,
Is it
Christ
with
Almighty.
Goliath?
Oh yeah, this is what happens when you give us a week off. Uh,
Yeah, but no, like, but
but
anyway,
yeah, I know what you're talking. The end of time. I mean, it's just like the
pretty much, yeah. But I think it would be kind of cool if like these were the stories that got purged off by the TVA, and at the end, it's just Kang, just like kind of like flicking through channels,
that'd be fucking cool as shit.
like
I can
how
see
he
that with
jumped.
like yeah, like him and the Watcher just hanging out.
Yeah, because I mean, that's the other thing too. I like that they introduced the Watcher, and I'm wondering if he'll play a role in the live action front.
Well, so he did have the cameo with Stan Lee. It's like the Watchers and him are
Right.
all sitting together, and I think Stan Lee was supposed to be a Watcher in that sense, but he's obviously dressed different. He's in a space suit and he's having that conversation with them, which like it's super cool. Obviously, no more Stan Lee, but God rest his soul. Here we are getting the stories that the Watchers are watching, the things that they can no longer interfere with, but they can view from a distance, and they see all realities, all timelines, all events of the history, which I think is awesome.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think the Watcher ever could interfere.
Correct. So like that, yeah. So well, yeah. I say as far as being able to interfere and not interfering, we're getting into Eternals territory there, which is coming out soon-ish. It's the end of this year.
Yeah. So I mean, we'll see, but man, I'm
Eternals are
just
dickheads.
that was just one way. That was one hell of a way to kick off like this show, though.
Yep.
Like,
I'm not gonna lie, like this is gonna kill me because it was only first of all, it was a half hour long. So like it's a enough of a taste to really want more. And then they're like, all right, wait a week. Like I'll need to drop 2 episodes a week, man. Like I need more of this. Give me something. I'm
now,
hungry.
how many episodes is this one? Because I know with it being anime, I think it's more than the six.
Let me do a quick search, but I mean like I would hope it's 10, 12 episodes.
I think it's at least eight.
10.
10.
Which
Okay.
is okay. Like I'll take 10.
Right.
Hawkeye's only 6, which sucks. Again, like it's one of those things where like I'm glad it's 10, but I feel like we could have definitely crushed more. So it's going to go on into October, which will bring us up right around to our 1 year. So that's kind of awesome. We'll be doing that. We will also be covering Titans, which is coming out. Like we've got it all. What If comes out Wednesday, Titans is Thursday. We're going to be covering a lot of information for you guys in the next upcoming weeks. We have Suicide Squad, so much better than the first one. Oh my God, leaps and bounds. It crushed the first one. So for those of you that have seen that, get our opinions on it. Huge fan of the fact that like 90% of their cast were Marvel characters in live action films.
Well, I mean, it was James Gunn. He pretty much
Yeah.
just brought the Guardians over and did
Yep.
DC.
I loved it. And I think I liked it better because James Gunn directed it, and like I like his directing style. It's a little more gritty, a little more gory.
Now, Freddie, here's the biggest question that I've seen. So, not to kind of like stray, but how bad do you think Marvel dropped the ball with Idris Elba as Heimdall after seeing him playing Bloodsport?
I think he could have. So I think Heimdall was a good character. I think he could have been so much better though.
Yeah, I mean, especially with Idris Elba, like I think he really could have did a lot for that character, like more so than they let him do.
He is a fantastic actor. I think they were so heavily Thor Loki centric that Heimdall didn't have his area to shine. And
I completely agree with that.
Disagree, agree, whatever. Let us know on that. I think Idris Elba is a phenomenal actor in general. So he has such a range. And again, he's played that super-esque character in the past couple movies, but goddamn, he's good. He's a good actor. So fuck it. I'm in.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm really excited to see what Marvel has coming soon. Like,
I'm excited for that. I know you're a big DC guy. I am hyped to see what DC is going to bring out with Titan season 3. We got the Red Hood releasing. We have Blackfire coming in. Again, we are taking a full on turn at this point. We're pivoting to what's coming up in the next couple weeks, guys. I'm excited. We got a lot going on. We got a lot to cover. We are going to dive in real heavy, real deep, and it's going to get comic-y as fuck in here. So let's go.
yeah, the only thing that I'm hoping for Titans is I just really, really, really hope that they're not going to try to like sell out by bringing in the Joker. Like they've done a good job so far staying away from him and making a
Yep.
semi-good product. Now, obviously, you have Jason Todd dies. It's the Joker who kills him. He becomes Red Hood, and his whole storyline there is the vendetta against Joker. And even from the trailers, you see like the amusement park, the laugh, like
Yep.
so I'm just really really nervous because I really feel like they could have did a lot with Deathstroke and they kind of like I feel like they wasted him in the season that they had him as the main villain. Like I feel like he could come back and be like a big player and
Yeah.
like Blackfire, but we'll get into that later on. But I'm excited. We have a lot going on.
Yes, we do. And I'm so fucking ready for it. I'm here for everything. So as far as this week, that's really all I've got to cover for What If. There wasn't a ton of Easter eggs. It was very, straightforward as far as everything goes. But, you know, I mean, that's really all I got.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm super excited for the What If series. I really can't wait to see how they do everything, especially with, I know a lot of people have been wanting the
Yes.
zombie Avengers, and they've kind of been hinting at it between Spider-Man Far From Home with the hallucination, then it's like Iron Man coming out of the
Yep.
grave. Like
I
there's
know
been
Iron Man
a
had the nightmare, which gave him the PTSD with everyone's dead. So there's been a lot. You're absolutely correct.
yeah, so we'll see. We'll see what we have to bring. So but I hear we have some news.
We do. So for those of you that follow us on social media, thank you so much. Please share us with your friends, family, neighbors, dogs. I don't care. Uh, but we just hit 250 plus on Instagram, which is awesome. So we are going to be doing another giveaway. So Mark, tell us what we got.
So one thing that we've been playing around is last time we went heavy on the Marvel. So or DC, I'm
DC.
sorry.
We were
Last
heavy
time
DC first off.
we were heavy DC. I am so sorry. We gave away uh the mug and the couple comics. So we're playing around with ideas still what exactly, but we know that this giveaway will include a couple X4s. We want to go Marvel this time. Marvel's going heavy with Phase 4, so to reward you guys and show our appreciation, we're gonna go heavy with you guys. So we're gonna throw in a couple Marvel comics, probably some X4, something along those lines.
And obviously, because X Force is such a big thing, and we have Deadpool, who is making his entrance into the Marvel Universe, we will be giving away some awesome Deadpool stuff as well. So, guys, following us on social media, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, keep an eye out. We will make a post. We will give you guys the instructions and leave the rest up to you. So, for this week, that's all I've got. Guys, as always, give us a follow on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. On Instagram and Facebook, it's at Something Super Podcast. On Twitter, at SS Podcast 52. As always, your major streaming platforms, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Anchor. Thank you so much for hosting us. Mark, take it away.
I'm Mark,
And I'm Steve.
and we'll catch you guys later.